Good afternoon and welcome to Nationwide. We're live on the network service of the NTA. I'm Hauwa, Salihu, Adama. Thank you for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated newly appointed members of 3 constitutional bodies of the federal government. They are those of the Federal Character Commission, which had its full membership reconstituted, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, as well as the Federal Civil Service Commission, to fill existing vacancies. The event was an exercise of the powers conferred on the Nigerian leader by Section 154, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution. State House correspondent Adama reports that the president did not speak at the ceremony, but Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, told NTA News that the appointees are fully aware of their expectations.
We are marching towards the end of the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari. We have just spent a year. We still have 3 years. But there are so many things that we want them to begin to do in terms of re-energizing the system. The Federal Character Commission particularly has responsibilities in the Constitution, which is very, very fundamental to ensure equitable distribution of not only offices, but even of amenities and benefits and welfare to the people of the country. The revenue mobilization is very critical. Particularly now that we have very serious shortfalls in our earnings. And the essence of the revenue mobilization was to look at the non-oil sector, particularly in terms of mobilizing revenue for the country. And I believe that now that they have virtually the full complement of their membership, they should be able to give it the necessary drive. And the Federal Civil Service Commission is an institution that has a responsibility of looking at the federal civil service in terms of employment, in terms of promotions, in terms of capacity building. We need a new federal civil service to take us to the next level.
A legislation that would enable High Court judges to order forfeiture of assets is on course at the House of Representatives. Sponsored by the Deputy Speaker, Ahmed Idris Wasi, the bill seeks amendment to the Currency Conversion Act to enable federal high courts at any location in the country adjudicate on legal issues concerning forfeiture of assets. The bill passed second reading and was referred to House Committee on Justice for further legislative action. House members during plenary Thursday adopted a motion mandating House Committee on Finance and that of Ports and Harbour to investigate the Nigeria Ports Authority over allegations that it operates a secret dollar account with a commercial bank. To politics now. Governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has been appointed by the caretaker and extraordinary National Convention Planning Committee of the All Progressives Congress to chair the party's high-level National Campaign Council for the Edo State governorship election. Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Yakini Nabena, in a statement said Governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodimma, will serve as Deputy Chairman and Abbas Braimo as Secretary of the 49-member APC National Campaign Council. Other members of the Campaign Council include ministers, members of the National Assembly and governors of Gombe, Inua Yahaya, Kogi, Yahaya Bello, Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Deputy Senate President Ovie Omo Agege, and 2 former national chairmen of the party, John Odige Oyegun and Adams Oshomole. The campaign council will be inaugurated on Monday, July 6, 2020 at the party's national secretariat. And this is Nationwide on the NTA. Time to join Ruth in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Ruth. You're on.
Hello, Hauwa. Good to see you. The Lagos State Police Command has issued serious warning to criminal elements that its men will not relent in bringing them to justice. The State Police Commissioner Hakeem Odumosu, while parading some suspects, said the strides recorded were part of efforts to further ensure safety of lives and property as the nation moves into another phase of partial lockdown. Dr. Ogwemi has the report.
Like everything else that has begun to pick up weeks after the partial ease of lockdown, the mega city of Lagos is gradually returning to its usual hustle and bustle. But crime, they say, never sleeps, and so are law enforcement agents who have proven their efficiency to tackle emerging crimes. Statistics by the Lagos State Police Command show that within the last 1 month, 41 armed robbery suspects were arrested, 28 robbery attempts were foiled, and 195 suspects arrested for cultism, 1 kidnapped victim rescued, among others.
So in order to reduce that issue of robbery in traffic, so our men are deployed, so motorbikes are deployed, so that if, because of the nature, which is the rain, because of the condition of the road too now, so we have to be on the road, so now men have to make sure that they are not attacked.
I don't know anything about this. Initially, I don't know.
Benson Joshua is a driver. He's not only protesting his arrest, but says he was unaware that the content he was contracted to transport was Indian hemp.
They carry clothes, that was what they told me. And that was what... No, they didn't tell me they were loading the vehicle.
So there's some boys out of our area there. So it's not that take me to go and blend me to processing.
The police says it has also arrested the officer who extorted the sum of 500,000 naira from this citizen. The police commissioner, while returning the money, disclosed that the command is keen on ensuring zero corruption level within its rank and file and enjoined citizens to report erring officers. In Lagos, Dotun Kunyemi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Chief Judge of Lagos State, Justice Kasim Alogba, has granted freedom to over 55 inmates awaiting trial at the various correctional centers in the state. The ongoing exercise is in line with government's decision to decongest the centers and curtail the spread of COVID-19. Tunde Saiki has details.
The mood of the freed inmates as this journey back to the correctional centers to conclude the paperwork for their release was that of excitement. The Lagos State Chief Judge, Justice Kasim Alogba, who granted the inmates pardon in an open court session, advised them not to revert to a life of crime, adding that with the creation of a database comprising details and fingerprints of criminals stored by the Lagos State government, makes it easier to track any pardoned inmate that picks up old criminal habits.
If we don't have people who receive them and rehabilitate them, then we are just, all this exercise will just be showmanship. So, and we have all taken the lesson and we're going to take it home and then work on it. Some, I said they should be taken for rehabilitation.
It's something we desire quarterly, or as much as they can do it. It has brought a level of peace, and we can use it to secure good behavior from the inmates.
The released inmates were detained between 2017 and 2018 for offenses ranging from stealing, burglary, fraud to membership of prohibited groups. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Hauwa in Abuja has more reports on Nationwide after this break.
Thanks for rejoining us. Moving on, the Nigerian Navy ship Jubilee has handed over some suspects and a fully loaded illegal oil vessel impounded along the waterways to the EFCC in Akwa Ibom State for prosecution. Kelvin Samuel now reports.
Handing over the exhibit to the team of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, the Commander NNS Jubilee, Commodore Majid Ibrahim, assured that the action is in line with the Chief of Naval Staff's directive in ensuring safe and secure maritime environment across the country.
The command will not relent on its members in the fight against maritime crimes and criminalities. Consequently, the command hereby advise oil thieves and other criminals to seek legal means of livelihood, as it will continue to arrest and hand them over to relevant security agencies for prosecution.
He maintained that the command under his watch will continue to do everything within its power to sanitize the waterways and make it safe for legitimate businesses to thrive.
We have increased the frequency of patrol. Now we have continuous aggressive patrols, and we believe with that able to bring the issue of crime and criminality in the Niger Delta to the barest minimum.
Suspect and exhibit were thereafter handed over to the main of the EFCC for further investigation and possible prosecution. From Ikorabasi local government area of Akwa Ibom State, Kelvin Samuel, NTA News.
And for more reports, let's hand you over to Zulay in our Kaduna Network Center. Hello, Zulay.
Hauwa, thanks for joining us in Kaduna. Rice farmers in Kano State are taking advantage of modern techniques of rice farming to scale up production to meet domestic demand. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that this was at the training of farmers on the agro-processing productivity enhancement and livelihood improvement support project. The report.
Kano State is among states which embark on rice farming to fast-track production to meet local needs as a federal government decision to promote domestic rice production. This paradigm shift is coming on the heels of concerted efforts of the federal government and a peace project to make farming as a mainstay of the economy. The beneficiaries were trained on modern rice farming. We have received seed variety and it's better than the one we normally used. Alhamdulillah, this is one of the best time we had in terms of improved seeds. At the flag of ceremony of wet season support to adopt improved production technologies among rice farmers in Gabasawa local government area for Tofe rice clusters, Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Muhammad Sabananuno appealed to farmers to replicate the new method acquired and desist from unwholesome attitude of selling implements given to them.
It's a chance for them now that they have the influence to grow their rice and other crops. I hope they will use that opportunity to do more and even expand their farming.
These farmers are targeting, production of 480, tons of rice, within 120 hectares of land. And these tons of rice is already linked, to an off-taker, which is ready to off-take.
The agro-processing support project distributed tools and equipment to 100 rice farmers and improved seed variety. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Enhanced synergy among sister African countries is imperative in dealing with trans-border crimes. Commandant Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji, Air Vice Marshal Abubakar Sadiq Liman, stated this during Africa Day celebration by students of Senior Course 42 of the college. Suleiman Abdullahi Rugachkum reports.
A spectacular display of array of African cultures by members of the Senior Course 42 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji. It is part of activities of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji in the Senior Course curriculum designed to observe the Africa Day celebration. Africa Day is an annual commemoration of the formation of the African Union, formerly Organization of African Unity. The event featured country briefs of international students from 10 African countries. Commandant of the college, Air Vice Marshal Abubakar Sadiq, acknowledged strong synergy among African countries as a reliable tool to end trans-border crimes against humanity.
And from what I've seen today, it clearly proves that Africa is one country. Because what you find in progress South Africa is available in the Gambia, available in the Republic of Ghana, available in Chad, in Botswana, like that. So it means, I keep saying, our borders are just imaginary lines that shouldn't exist.
The senior course, which involves research, lectures, and visitations, will prepare the tactical level commanders with sufficient skills in command and operations as future leaders of the armed forces in their respective countries. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkung, NTA News.
And we're back to Hauwa in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Very well, Zule. Moving on here in Abuja, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission is building capacity of states towards achieving a reliable database for Nigeria population in the diaspora. Chairman of the Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, said this while hosting a delegation from the Anambra State Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, Tourism and Culture on a strategic partnership. Over now to Abubakar Usman Akwanga.
The chairman explained that NITCOM is exploring all its windows to harness human and material resources outside the shore of the country and assures of greater partnership in areas of direct foreign investment and human capital development. In addition to the partnership, a comprehensive data bank is being developed with a designated portal to ascertain actual figures of Nigerians in diaspora for planning and development purposes.
And we'll make copies available to you to guide our states in terms of diaspora engagement. Then we have the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit. Again, we may not hold this year because of COVID, but we'll do something virtually.
Anambra State Commissioner of Diaspora Affairs, Culture and Tourism, Christian Madubuko, expressed satisfaction with the partnership and promised to work in line with the Commission's protocols for enhanced mutual beneficial relationship.
The purpose of the visit today is to familiarize with the Honorable Chairman. That is one. Two, to see ways we can work together to develop our tourism potentials.
He assures NITCOM of far-reaching measures to employ viable diplomatic tools in wooing the interests of Nigerians in diaspora to contribute their quotas to nation building. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons have resolved to work closely with other stakeholders towards the repatriation of refugees. An agreement to that effect was reached after talks between the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, and the Federal Commissioner from the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Senator Bashir Garba Mohammed. The Federal Commissioner had, during a visit to the Foreign Affairs Ministry, re-emphasized the key role of the ministry in consolidating support from countries such as Niger and Chad and the repatriation of stranded refugees.
Was born in Adama State and we are all settled back in their communities. Yes, so with regards to the real state, we also made it a condition. We had a meeting with Mr. Governor that if we are going to bring back our refugees from Niger, it has to be to a safe environment, at least where normalcy has been restored. And the one very important issue here, for my colleague mentioned, is to have a focal person.
The officials also agreed that it is important to ensure that refugees are repatriated under safe and secure environment and integrated back into the society under a long-term and sustainable resettlement plan. The government of Indonesia has indicated interest in investing in Nigeria's infrastructure. The ambassador to Nigeria was at the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission to discuss areas of interest. Benny Adams reports.
While several countries have shut their borders as a result of COVID-19, Nigeria and Indonesia are bonded by the need to survive the economic impact of COVID-19 by leveraging on their shared similarities. Both countries hope to utilize their population to fast-track prosperity and infrastructure development. The exchange here amplifies that bond, and this meeting is to discuss areas of interest, one of which is Nigeria's concession of 4 new international airport terminals. Having attracted an investment portfolio of $8 billion recently, the leadership of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission believes that a private sector-driven development partnership is the needed link to create prosperity for Nigerians.
$700 million of investment. Look at what Lekki will do. If this seaport is going near to commercial close, the silos which were abandoned have been concession and have yielded revenue. So, we're also working with the Federal Ministry of Health with teaching hospitals.
The ICRC says it is creating the regulatory framework for public-private partnership that creates confidence for private sector investment. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
And to Benin now, where Agatha has the next set of reports.
Thank you, Hauwa, and good to have you join us in Benin. The rate of community spread of COVID-19 infections in Edo State is now a source of worry to government, especially as the state has exceeded the 1,000 mark. Good Luck Inaini brings us a situation report.
Despite the increasing number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Edo State, the likes of Donald Ovie believe that it does not exist.
Other male symptoms are almost the same with COVID-19 symptoms, and they are all counted as COVID-19. They are fake.
Nothing like coronavirus in the country.
Even records indicate that as at June 30th, the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Edo State stood at 986. The state, however, recorded a sharp increase when a total of 179 confirmed cases were recorded, bringing the total number to 1,165 spread across 15 local government areas. The rise is attributed to non-adherence to safety guidelines.
The efforts being put in place have yielded good results, but however, we still observe that the level of compliance from our people is really far from what we desired.
There are indications that the elderly account for the greater number of COVID-19 related deaths in the state.
Government should focus on the care for the elderly and those who have chronic medical ailments like hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and respiratory diseases.
Although the carefree attitude of citizens to COVID-19 has remained a source of worry to health authorities, adherence to the guidelines for safety, experts say, remains the best option. In Benin, Good Luck Inaini, NTA News.
In the meantime, the traffic jam often experienced on the Niger Bridge during the period of interstate border lockdown is no more. Kelvin Weche reports that activities are in full swing for transporters on the route who have been out of business.
This is the Niger Bridgehead, experiencing free vehicular and human movements.
And when they don't open, at least we get hope. Person can hustle for what he can eat now.
The transporters are taking advantage of the situation to make brisk businesses. The transport companies, however, follow some of the guidelines against coronavirus pandemic.
Same price to your destination. The only change is the social distance. Instead of 10 passengers, now it's now 8 passengers.
Now men are ever on their beats on the bridgehead and along the routes, controlling traffic, ensuring that there is free movement.
This passenger expressed reservations on the realization in spite of the rising cases of COVID-19 in the country.
We have to put some preventive measures, maybe to enforce it, maybe the security agency, like the use of masks.
It's important at this point in time to focus on effective contact surveillance is key.
Motorbike operators that have nice time conveying passengers across the bridge during the interstate border closure are experiencing bad businesses now.
When the road is busy, we are carrying 2 person, 1,000. But now, the work is reduced for us.
The Niger Bridge is the main border between Delta and Anambra states. In Asaba, Kelvin Weche, NTA News.
And that's our package. Hauwa, it's back to you.
Thanks, Agatha. And from Benin, we go to Taraba, where the recent certification of Nigeria as a polio-free country by the Africa Regional Certification Commission is attributed to unity of purpose demonstrated by stakeholders to stop the scourge. The declaration of state of emergency on routine immunization by the federal government, according to stakeholders in Taraba State, is a game changer that led to the success. Joseph Hussein completes the report.
Nigeria was declared a polio-free country on the 19th of June 2020 by the World Health Organization.
We are very happy with Nigeria that what they have done in polio eradication through our government, our traditional leaders, our frontline health workers.
Adequate sensitization and investment leading to high level of immunization and surveillance activities are what stakeholders in Taraba State are attributing to the remarkable success.
We are congratulating Mr. President and also the Executive Director of National Primary Healthcare Development. Immediately he came on board, he declared a state of emergency on the return immunization.
And I want to believe that the frontline health workers, partners, religious leaders, opinion leaders, the media have all played their own major role.
The district head of Jalingo, Tuku Abatuku, has served as chairman on mobilization against polio in Taraba State.
In fact, in some other quarters, one has to tell us whatever happened to your children, I'm going to be responsible, and I've voted before them. I say, yes, I am.
In 2012, Nigeria accounted for more than half of all polio cases worldwide. The recent declaration of Nigeria as a polio-free country for sure demonstrates that with unity, cooperation, and dedication, the country can overcome any challenge. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound Otsen, NTA News.
And Abubakar is on standby in Maiduguri with more reports. Abubakar?
Nice to see you, Hauwa, and we're glad you've joined us. Following lifting ban on interstate movement, Borno State government has intensified surveillance in addition to the establishment of COVID-19 testing center along Maiduguri-Kano Road for the control and containment of the spread. Samples of travelers coming into the state are expected to be tested for COVID-19 at the Umaru Shehu Hospital in Maiduguri. Pauline Kujevana has the situation report on coronavirus pandemic in Borno State.
Borno State at the moment has 37 active cases of coronavirus pandemic, confirmed mostly from those who violated the interstate restriction against the spread of COVID-19 and travel to Maiduguri. With the projection that interstate lockdown will be eased and people moving freely into the state capital, which may rise the cases of COVID-19, the state government procured and equipped additional testing center at Umaru Shehu's ultramodern hospital, awaiting activation by NCDC.
And that means that we will be able to increase our capacity to over 200 tests per day in Borno State.
The testing center making two the number in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, in addition to more isolation centers, despite the existing ones are not utilized to the full capacity.
The isolation center in Biu has been completed and is ready. The one in Damasak, it's almost coming up. The one in Dikwa is about to be ready, so also the one in Gala. And you may recall that last week, we also received the donation and contribution of the Northeast Development Commission in terms of 2 isolation centers in 12 IDPs.
According to the Secretary of COVID-19 Committee in the state, the Commissioner of Health, Dr. Salihu, the state government is concentrating on how to decentralize isolation centers to ensure that those tested positive are attended to in convenient facilities with better treatment. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
Towards complementing efforts of Borno State government on sensitization and preventive measures against COVID-19, Nigeria Labour and Trade Union Congresses, in partnership with Network for Civil Society Organizations, supported by Northeast Development Commission, have presented COVID-19 preventive items to the Shehu of Borno and 7 organizations within Maiduguri. Yagum Subukar now reports.
Members of the organizations have visited the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Umar Garba Al-Amin Al-Kenemi, where they presented hand sanitizers, soaps and face masks to the Royal Father. The Shehu thanked the congresses for the donation, saying what matters most is the spirit behind the gesture and not the quantity. Similar items were also presented to Borno State Head of Service, Barrister Simon Mulgui, for onward distribution to civil servants to enable them carry out their duties effectively. The State Chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Bulama Abiso, also presented the preventive items to Chief Medical Director, Hospital Management Board, Dr. Muhammad Aminu Guluzi, who applauded their effort and urged citizens to continue to contribute their quota in the ongoing campaign against the pandemic. They were also at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, NTA Zonal Network Center Maiduguri, Borno Radio Television, and Peace FM, where members of the organizations appreciated the role of the media in enlightening the public on COVID-19. Chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Bulama Abiso, Chairman, Trade Union Congress, Baboyo Mohammed Haman, and Chairman, Network for Civil Society Organizations, Ambassador Ahmed Shehu, said the organizations they visited have been playing a vital role in sensitizing the public against COVID-19, stressing that more organizations will be visited to appreciate them and also to complement the effort of Borno State government. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
Here on to Nationwide from Maiduguri. Hauwa in Abuja has more stories for us on Nationwide, but that will be right after this break.
The number of the COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is increasing daily, with many more tests ongoing. The battle of testing, isolating, treating, and attending to the affected persons rests heavily on the shoulders of our health workers, constantly putting their lives on the line and at risk to contain this virus, save and protect.
Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has announced 790 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. The latest figure released brings the total number of confirmed cases to 26,484 in Nigeria. A breakdown of the new cases indicates that Delta recorded the highest number for the day with 166 cases, while Lagos has 120 cases. Enugu recorded 66, the Federal Capital Territory 65, Edo 60, Ogun 43, Kano 41, Kaduna 39, Ondo 33, and Rivers 32. Others are Bayelsa 29, Katsina 21, Imo 20, Kwara 18, Oyo 11, Abia 10, Benue 6, and Gombe 4. The day's tally is completed by Yobe, Bauchi, and Kebbi with 2 cases each. With the latest development, total number of active cases stand at 15,729. 10,152 cases have been successfully treated and discharged, while 603 patients unfortunately have died. And from Sokoto, Musa Abubakar joins us live with the latest on COVID-19 in that state. Last we heard, the number of confirmed positive cases in Sokoto State was pegged at 151. Hello, Musa. It's good to see you. What is the current status of COVID-19 infections and treatment in the state against the backdrop of the last testings by the NCDC facilitated by the State Action Committee on COVID-19?
Well, as at Wednesday 1st July 2020, Sokoto recorded 0 case, and also there was no death, as well as 4 patients were also discharged. Then there are 16 pending tests. So also the total number of tests conducted in the state stands at 827. There's the total confirmed cases is 151, as you said, and also active case remains 13 for now. Then 123 discharged and 15 deaths so far.
Okay, let me take you back a little bit. What proactive measures would you say were put in place by the State Action Committee to curtail spread in anticipation of the recent lifting of the ban on interstate travels?
Well, the authorities have put in place measures such as temperature testing at the port of entry, for vehicles coming into the state. They are subjected. They are to undergo a temperature check before they come into the state, and so also commercial motorists have been advised to make sure that they observe social distancing when they operate within the state.
Thank you very much, Musa, for the update. But I'm just wondering, what would you say is the general ambience in terms of awareness on how to take personal responsibility as far as COVID-19 is concerned in Sokoto?
Well, I can say it's somehow low, because in most places we visited, we've seen people not actually wearing face masks, while there are other places where you see people actually wearing face masks.
All right, we hope that the awareness level increases. Thank you very much for contributing to Nationwide today. Back in Abuja, the Action Aid Nigeria has donated hand sanitizers to the Nigerian Television Authority to protect journalists from contracting COVID-19. Communications Coordinator, Action Aid Nigeria, Lola Ayonda, who presented the PPEs to the Executive Director News, noted NTA's efforts at educating the public on the pandemic and acknowledged that the network has been doing a great job.
Personal protective equipment whenever you go out, and want to call on media owners as well, public sector, private sector, to please ensure that they provide all necessary materials needed for their reporters as they go out, particularly cameramen at this critical period.
Lola Ayonda urged other NGOs to support journalists who, like health workers, are exposed to dangers of COVID-19. The Deputy Director News, Ayo Adewi, appreciated the support of Action Aid and agreed that journalists need protection from the pandemic as they source news, educate and enlighten the public. He is also seeking special training for health reporters to enable them perform their duties effectively. Now to Benue State, where the government has toed the line of the federal government of partial reopening of primary and post-primary schools. Commissioner for Information in that state disclosed these and other resolutions at the State Executive Council meeting in Makurdi, the state capital. Charles Abba completes the report.
A decision by the Benue State Executive Council to conditionally reopen primary and post-primary schools is to enable pupils of Primary 6, JSS3 and students in SS3 to prepare for their examinations respectively. Commissioner for Information, Orientation and Tourism, Nguna Dingi, disclosed that the State Executive Council also approved public-private partnership modality to manage the modern market. Makurdi
approved a request for.
And unfortunately, we cannot continue with that story. And a report just in says the Ondo State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Wahab Adegbenro, has died of coronavirus at the age of 65. He was said to have died at the Federal Medical Center, Hauwa, where he was admitted a few days ago. Until his death, late Dr. Wahab Adegbenro was the chairman, Ondo State Task Force on COVID-19 and also the State Commissioner of Health. A native of Ilara Mokin in Ifedore, local government area of the state, late Dr. Adegbenro was a member of the Association of General and Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria before he was appointed as Commissioner for Health in Ondo State by Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. The Ministry of Science and Technology is hoping to speed up developments in the sector by partnering with the Nigeria Bar Association Abuja branch to ensure the protection of scientific innovations from copyright infringements. Olabode Arewa tells us more.
The coronavirus pandemic comes with its challenges, but incidentally, with enormous prospects in technological breakthroughs. Most countries and their residents now conduct their affairs through various ICT platforms and other real-time technologies. Nigerian technologists have also joined the movement, developing new applications and innovations. The Ministry of Science and Technology and the Nigerian Bar Association, Abuja branch, are taking measures to ensure that owners of such innovations obtain and enjoy the intellectual property rights to the patents.
When scientists try to develop certain inventions, they need those inventions to be patented. Now, who does this process? It's because of the instrument of law, that lawyers now comes in.
For us, we feel that even in science and technology, there is the role that lawyers can play in ensuring that the Ministry of Science and Technology delivers on its mandate.
The process is to commence from the courts. As part of the ministry's contributions to the body of knowledge in Nigeria, the ministry is partnering with the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy to develop applications that will be used by the judiciary. In Abuja, NTA News.
And as part of efforts aimed at keeping officers and men healthy to secure the nation, Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu has flagged off a 14-day cancer screening and treatment program for officers and men who are 40 years and above at the police headquarters in Abuja. Francis Fom reports.
The Nigeria Police, being the lead security agency in internal security management, cannot carry out such function if its officers and men are not fit. To this end, the police authority partnered with Stanley Medical Foundation to create awareness, conduct screening, and also treatment for prostate cancer for its officers and men, which medical practitioners say is one of the major causes of death among men worldwide.
When we constantly check ourselves, then we'll be able to take preventive measures so that the country is doing on us will not be in vain, because if you are taken down by diseases, you will not be able to perform your duties.
Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of Force Medical states that a survey of the force shows that the highest ranking non-communicable disease among officers is hypertension, followed by diabetes, and more recently, prostate.
When you check your prostate,
14 days. In Abuja, Francis Fom, NTA News.
Still staying with security matters, the Nigerian military has given an update of its operations covering June the 18th to June the 30th, 2020, including the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Nigerian Army and some organizations. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani has the details.
Giving a detailed account of military operations in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, the coordinator Defense Media Operations indicated the capture of bandit and kidnapping kingpins.
In the northeast, troops conducted several operations at various locations, which led to the neutralization of terrorists, destruction of their equipment and structures, as well as recovery of various items. Troops of Operation Hadar in Daji, under Operation Accord, also rescued 29 kidnapped victims in Katsina and Zamfara states. They were handed over to the two state governments. The south-south zone of the country, the maritime component of Operation Delta Safe has recorded tremendous successes also. Nigerian Navy ship Delta dismantled illegal refinery sites, and these sites were observed to have been reactivated with 6 ovens, 5 surface metal storage tanks, and 5 dugout pits.
Reassuring Nigerians of sustained onslaught against criminal elements for the safety of lives and property, the High Command of the military commended the armed forces of their gallantry and reiterated its commitment to ensuring the welfare of troops. As part of activities during the week under review, the Nigerian Army, Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria (DICON) and the University of Ilorin signed a Memorandum of Understanding for the development of composite material for military hardware. The MOU is expected to be a game changer in the planning and execution of local content for national security. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
The Ekiti State government's decision to reopen schools this month has been commended, and stakeholders are eager to resume, having put necessary arrangements in place. Yemi Dalemo reports that COVID-19 preventive innovations locally produced are being rolled out to ensure safety of students and staff when full academic work resumes.
Ekiti State Governor Dr. Kayode Fayemi said as students in terminal classes resumes, water, sanitizer, soap and other protocols must be observed, while certificates of readiness will be issued to schools that meet the conditions ahead of the reopening by 20th of this month. Some private schools and higher institutions who produce COVID-19 prevention equipment, such as body temperature measuring device, sanitizing and hand washing machines, and polymerase chain reaction machines for use in institutions and public places, said they are ready to return to school.
We are able to make this contribution, our own contribution to this extent. The technology is domiciled within the institution.
Are Afe Babalola commended the federal government on efforts so far at curtailing the spread of the coronavirus, now at the community transmission stage, urged the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 to visit public and private higher institutions to assess level of COVID-19 prevention equipment and their compliance with safety measures.
What my advice is that the PTF should send people directly or the agents making use of possibly the state governments to go and see universities which have complied and which are ready. We are ready.
Most of the institutions visited put in place special hand washing facilities at their entrances, infrared thermometers, COVID-19 test kits for antigen testing, RNA extraction kits, biosafety cabinets, among other safety devices. In Ado Ekiti, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.